show in which I talk about the video game industry and my opinions on it. I'm your host, ThatKidDouglas, aka the Unhero, and this is the Anita Sarkeesian Syndrome Part 2. So let's get straight into it. So Anita, if you're so pro-woman and pro-feminist like you say you are, then why are you attacking women? Now I know what you're thinking, Zion, that's preposterous. Anita Sarkeesian is totally pro-woman, she's totally pro-feminist. Hell, her show is called Trolls vs. Women in Video Games, for God's sakes. How, in any way, could she be possibly attacking women? She exclusively goes after men. Well, I know this may be shocking to you, but the Gamergate movement isn't solely just about men. There's quite a few women in the movement as well. I know you may not believe it, but it's definitely true. There is a fair share of women in Gamergate that are fighting for ethics and transparency in game journalism. So according to your own warped logic, Anita, you are being misogynistic yourself because you're going after a movement filled with a bunch of women in it. But you don't talk about that. You just ignore stuff like that. Because Gamergate is only a movement with men in it that go after women. I mean, there can't possibly be any women that actually support this sexist, misogynistic, vile movement. But they are. And if you don't believe me, check this out.
Pretty uncomfortable for you that when I tweeted this, the amazing ladies of Gamergate replied with this. Keep watching. You pissed off an awful lot of gamers by suggesting that this was in any way a battle of the sexes. I mean, those were your exact words, weren't they?
It's an online battle of the sexes over...
Yeah, I thought so. We're going to keep going too. Look at all these ladies who have no idea that they're on the wrong side of Gamergate. They should be with Brianna Wu, because I do believe she knows a lot of female video game developers. Wow, this just keeps going, doesn't it? It's almost like this isn't gendered in any way, and you have been lied to, MSNBC, although I honestly think you may already know that.
It's an online battle of the sexes over how gamers are portrayed in the sometimes violent reaction to women who speak out.
So Gamergate is a misogynistic hate group that hates women, Anita? Wow. Anita Sarkeesian, you are so full of shit, it's unbelievable. Honestly, if Gamergate was a hate group, do you really honestly think they would help they would raise money for an anti-bullying charity, and they would help a female game jam known as the Finance Capitalist get funded, which is actively trying to help women break into the video game industry? Do you really think it would do that if it was truly a misogynistic hate group against women? Oh, but keep on spinning that narrative that Gamergate does nothing more than hate on women. I'm sure it'll get you real far. I mean, if you allowed open and honest discussion, Anita, you would be informed about these developments. But since you block anybody that has a dissenting opinion, it's not really much of a surprise how uninformed you are about this. Which allows me to conveniently segue into my next point. How convenient. The fact that Anita Sarkeesian essentially blocks anybody that has a dissenting opinion. She's essentially the very definition of a censorship Nazi. Now look, I can understand her blocking the trolls who are sending her death threats and rape threats constantly. I can understand that. That's vile, and that's disgusting, and there's no place for that. I do agree with her doing that. But you would think that she would allow the open and honest discussion for the people that genuinely have legitimate, honest criticism to direct towards her, right? No, those people more likely than not get blocked. And this has happened on numerous occasions. It's not the people saying, "Oh, I hope you die, you stupid cunt," or "You have nice tits, I'll rip them off so I can drink your blood." No, it's the people that generally have a problem with these videos, that have an opinion they want to express to Anita, and they want to express it, in the comment section, but they can't because more likely than not, they'll get blocked. Anita, you can't say that you're for open and honest discussion, yet you block anybody that has a dissenting opinion that you don't like. That's the exact opposite of open and honest. discussion, and it proves that you can handle open and honest discussion as well as constructive criticism. Because if you did, you wouldn't be blocking people simply for having a differing opinion. That's not how that's supposed to work. But given that Anita Sarkeesian is a massive liar and a massive hypocrite, that's not all that surprising. She constantly says one thing and then, goes and does another. It's absolutely ridiculous, you know? And with that kind of attitude, we're gonna get nowhere. If you really truly want to see the other side, and if you want to see their perspective, you can't just be blocking people and then, censoring the opinions you don't like. But I get it. I totally, totally do. You only want nice comments from people. The only discussion you want to hear is from the people that will kiss your ass, that will tell you you're doing a good job, and won't point out any faults in your video whatsoever, and that will just say how awesome you are. You only want the white knights discussing in your videos. You don't want the people that actually have a legitimate, honest criticism to express to you that can help make your videos better. And the funny fact about it is they're not trolls. They're not haters. They're just simply expressing an opinion, and they get blocked for it. By doing that, it honestly makes you a censorship Nazi. It really, really freaking does. So you're against open and honest, discussion. You lie constantly. You're a massive hypocrite. You think it's okay to, block people for having a dissenting opinion and go after the Gamergate movement, which is ironically full of women, but yet you think it's okay to favorite a tweet of a fanfiction of somebody, murdering Gearbox Software president Randy Pitchford? That's okay? It's only okay if it's happening to men, if men are being murdered, if men are being harmed. That's okay. Oh, but if you get harmed, or if there's a game depicting you getting beat up or you getting killed, it's sexist, it's misogynistic, and the people that do it have no lives and should just go away. I just don't get that. That's just hypocritical nonsense. That's what I really, really get from it. It's absolutely hypocritical. And and if somebody were to call you out on that, you would block them. Let's be honest, you would. So don't even try to lie and say that you would. And a YouTube user by the name of Mundane Matt actually made a video on this. And I will leave a link to the video in the description down below so you can watch it. It goes into far greater detail than I ever could in this video. I mean, listen, if you want open and honest discussion, Anita, then don't block people simply for having a different opinion. That's going to make you, again, look like a censorship Nazi, and make you look like a person that doesn't want to hear, any sort of negative criticism towards her. It just makes you seem kind of a control freak and a bitch, to be honest with you. And that's just how I see it. But anyways, I'm going to conveniently segue into the third point, the third and final point I have in this video. I really think Anita Sarkeesian is a legitimate threat, and the agenda she's trying to push in the gaming community is incredibly dangerous. I play video games to have fun, to have entertainment. Anita Sarkeesian is nothing more than a buzzkill that's actively trying to ruin a hobby that I grew up with and that I love, And that pisses me off, because games are supposed to be about fun and entertainment and enjoying yourself and, an escape from reality. A place where you can kind of let out all your anger and frustrations and just lose yourself in the world of the game for a few hours. That's what video games are about. But she's trying to take it and make it into something else. She's trying to take it to a point where it's not even about video games anymore. It's all about social justice and feminism, which are important issues, don't get me wrong, but they don't belong in the sphere known as gaming. It doesn't. That crap will be far better in any other sort of mediums, but in this particular entertainment medium, it does not belong, and it should just go away. Honestly, I'm just so sick of hearing about it. And a lot of the major games websites are covering the social justice and feminism. They're barely even talking about games anymore. This is all they want to talk about now. And Anita Sarkeesian is a big perpetuator of this change. I'm sorry. She just is, in my opinion. She just really is. And what's even more unbelievable than the fact that she's not even a real gamer. She says she doesn't play video games, she doesn't like them. There's a video on that as well. You can go find it on YouTube. But the very fact of the matter is that she's not a real feminist. She, in her early years, was involved in a little organization or little thing or scheme or whatever called Tele-seminars. If you don't know what those are, I'll quickly, put it in a short form for you to understand. Tele-seminar is essentially another way to scam people out of their money. She was essentially involved in, being a con artist. And there's a video by YouTube user Jordan042 called Anita Sarkeesian in the early years, which goes into, again, far more detail than I can ever go into this video. He's also the co-director of the Sarkeesian Effect documentary with David Sormini. It's a fantastic video. It's a fantastic video, and I'll leave it in the link down in the description down below so you can watch it. It's a fantastic video. Anyways, but Anita Sarkeesian, you're not trying to blaze a path for women in video games. You're not trying to blaze a path for feminism. You're not pro-woman, you're not pro-feminist or anything like that. You clearly are in the video game industry for your own self-interest, to push your own agenda. You're not in this for women or to, help women in the video game industry. You're just not. And pretending that you are all for women and all for feminism when you're involved in a teleseminar scheme, which is essentially conning people out of their money, is absolutely unbelievable. And you know what? To be quite honest with you, not only are you a joke to the video game community and make us look really bad, but you're also a joke to feminism as well as the females in the video game industry who actually work hard and make good games without any of the bullshit drama attached to it. That's what you are. And I've been holding back, trying to insult you. I've been trying to be calm and rational about this, but since it's obvious you don't give a shit about video games, you never care about it, but yet you're trying to change the industry into something that you like to suit your own personal taste when you don't like it, is, it's stupid, it's silly, and you're going to get nowhere from it. Trust me, you are. And honestly, you have ruined my hobby. You have essentially messed this whole community up. And for that, you are going to be rightfully hated for years upon years upon years. I mean, if you really want to inspire change and make a path towards change in the game industry, Anita, you can start by, not lying, being honest to your audience, and actually looking at things from the other side's perspective, actually doing some research, actually doing your job, not stealing from Let's Players and not giving them any credit. Those are just some of the things you can start to do if you really want to blaze forward a path of change in the video game industry. And to end this video, Anita Sarkeesian, you're not a pop culture critic. You don't critique anything. You just take things that are already existing and trying to find problems in which they don't exist to try to further your point that video games are sexist towards women. That's what you're doing. That's not critiquing. That's just nitpicking. There's a clear difference. But honestly, you're not going to take anything I say into consideration. But I just wanted to get my thoughts and opinions out there just to let you know that no matter what you try to say or do, there's always going to be people to call you out. Remember that. And if you can't take the heat, then by all means, get the hell out of this community and really get the hell out of this industry. You're not welcome here. This is for us, for gamers, of both of men, women, race, and ethnicity. It doesn't matter. We are gamers. This is our turf. You don't mess with us. You're not welcome here. That's all I gotta say. This is ThatKidDouglas, aka the End Hero, signing out. Deuces. Stay frosty and keep it weird. Cue the random explosion effect.
What's